Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Trash Picture Show. And tonight I'm joined by some sexy motherfuckers to discuss a sexy fucking movie. So before we kick things off, first off, to my left or right, I can't fucking tell anymore. We have the legendary figure aficionado himself, Predpool. Another awesome figure collector below me there, Larry, aka the Horror Cat Dad, and an absolute legend. Forget Greyback, the Predator Elder. We have fucking Monty G in the fucking house. So yeah, this weekend, little movie came out called Predator, Killer of Killers, and it fucking rocked. I fucking love this movie. This is the most sexually fucking appealing movie I've ever seen in my life. Jen's gonna kick my hole for saying this. Hey babe, I still love you. This movie's awesome. Um, yeah, I have a lot to say. Mostly good. I've very few issues with this movie. Niggly nitpicks at best. But just a heads up, guys, this is going to be a spoiler discussion. So if you ain't fucking watched this movie yet, get your arse off this screen. Go watch the fucking movie and watch us in the replay because we're going to go into spoiler territory. In fact, I'm going to put up this here.
Mhm.
Spoilers. We're going to have spoilers. So, Mr. Kimball from fucking Kindergarten Cop, I have some questions. Some questions here. So,
Is
um,
that a tumor?
not a tumor. Get to the copper. Um, I'm going to Monty. You okay if I start what you did?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to leave myself for last because you know me, you know this topic, and you know I'm going to go on a fucking soapbox. So, my first question is, Monty, what's your overall thoughts on this movie?
Just like I said in my review, this movie is fucking awesome. Everything in it that a Predator fan wants. Great action, great animation. You got to give Thor Floor some credit. They did a great job, not with just every period piece that they use with the music that works within the piece that they're in, the design of each of the yachas in each time period. Each of those their designs fit the time period, and their fighting styles fit the time period that they're in. They didn't actually use the technology that they use, and that they actually used something that fit the time period. Whether it was that little smashing thing that the Predator used with Ursa, uh, the Ninja or the Shinobi Predator, and of course, I call him the Red Baron in the
Yeah,
Bullet. it's, it's just yeah. That scene actually kind of tripped me out because wouldn't expect the Predator to use a ship like a fighting plane, and I thought that was very good how they did that. Cause you never seen a Predator do that before, and I thought that really enhanced the battle scenes. Being a fighter plane, so I really get credit. Yeah, but the movie just like it's just fucking awesome. I mean, it's just everything, and especially which I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that ending scene.
yeah, that I was like, oh fuck, this is that ending scene made me realize, right? This isn't some throwaway animated fucking movie.
Hmm.
This is locked into the lore. This is
Hmm.
locked into the lore, and yeah, it fucking kicked arse. But yeah, all in all, Monty, you dug this, obviously.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's it's close to being my number one film, but it just can't touch Sinners. Sorry.
Sinners is awesome. I have
Mm.
my own issues with it, but that's because I'm a pedantic fuck. But I can totally understand
oh,
why it would
oh,
knock Sinners
there's one
top
thing I
spot.
not to go off topic, but I love the song Rocky Road to Dublin. I can't get enough
That's
of that.
it's cool they got a Dubliner son in there. Do you know what? It'd be funny if the Predators went after Smoke and Stack. If we got another fucking movie where one of the Predators went after Smoke and Stack and Sinners. But yeah, no, that fucking kicks arse. And again, if you haven't checked out Monty's review, go fucking check it out after the stream because the man does a fantastic review of not only that movie but fucking most movies. The dude is an absolute fucking archive of cinema. So definitely check him out. Predpool, what was your thoughts, overall thoughts on
I
this
think
animated masterpiece?
I think this movie did not disappoint at all. After Prey came out, a lot of people were impressed with Prey. They enjoyed Prey, but then after that, a lot of people were worried. Okay, what are they going to do next? Is it going to be to the same level as Prey or higher, or is it going to be like has happened before, where the next movies may not be as good and may flop? So I think this one helps solidify the franchise for in today's age. So definitely it's high up on the list for me. As far as Predator movies, including AVP movies, I think they did a solid job with the animation. It's a different style. Yes, some people say it's close to how the Spider Verse, and I compared it to Blue Eye Samurai that's on
Very
Netflix.
much like Blue Eyed
It's got
Samurai.
Hmm.
similar style, so I enjoyed it. It was beautiful. I think the stories were well done for the time that each one had for each character. There was room for improvement for me for the Viking and for the World War II. The feudal Japan for me was great. They did an excellent job covering the feud between the brothers, and how they resolved it. The Predator thrown into the mix. Everything was just even the action sequence. If you kind of grew up watching those old kung fu movies where they do these high jumps and other stuff, it didn't
Hmm.
bother me. If they were exaggerated with that. The other two, I love the other two also, but they had for me some things that later on I'll mention that for me kind of like took me out for a second out of the story and kind of like me. I know it's animation, but still they should have not done this or that. So, but I think definitely, it's a high on the list for me as far as per the movies now.
Okay. And if this was to come out in a physical format like Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray, purchase day one purchase.
I would,
Okay.
I would
Oh,
purchase it.
cool, cool. Larry, what's your thoughts on the movie?
Um, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The animation was pretty solid. Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. I do have some minor nitpicks and stuff, but overall, I thought it was really, really good. Um, yeah, yeah, we'll get into those nitpicks later, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was really solid. In my tops, I mean, it would still, I would probably put it maybe fourth best Predator movie.
Okay.
Well,
No,
I
that
don't know, 4 or 5.
okay. It's definitely fucking up there.
Hmm.
With kind of like the likes of Predator, and I know people give Predator 2 shit, but you know what? Fuck off. Predator 2 is fucking awesome. I'll fucking look. I'll die in that fucking hill for
Hey,
for
man.
for Kin, for Kin Willie and Broom Lady alone. That movie is fucking gold. Okay.
You
Um,
want some candy?
it's like, don't worry, I'm a cop. I don't think he gives a shit. I love and the Jeopardy music playing in the
Yeah,
background.
Mm.
Chef's kiss. Um, but yeah, no.
the
So all in
husband
all,
asleep.
that
He's like, Herb, I think there's someone in the bathroom, and he doesn't even wake
coming
up
out with
with
the
all the
broom.
like commotion. Yeah,
Nick, hey Nick, me forget the fucking samurai predator. Make us a fucking broom lady, fucking
There you
figure.
go.
Mhm.
Broom lady or Kin Willie.
that'd be great.
Um, but yeah, I'm with you. This movie fucking kicked arse. I loved it. I loved the teams. I I just thought that the writing was spectacular. Don't get me wrong. This isn't fucking Schindler's List, but the writing, there is more to this than just fucking badass time warriors fight fucking alien monster. One of the themes that I liked that went through the actual different segments was family, the importance of family, different
Mhm.
elements of the family, Ursa and her son, Kenji and his brother,
Brothers.
John Torres and his father, how his father's ingenuity and guile kind of fed into his ability to be a fantastic mechanic and pilot. Um, like the one segment, and I'll get into it more with Sword, the absolute metaphorical segment where Kenji's father slices the railing, and it's a representation of
Hmm.
him splitting the bond between the brothers apart, and then it literally breaks them apart later on when Kenji's
Mhm.
brother falls. That's fucking brilliant writing. And the other thing I had with this movie is it pulled a Walking Dead comic on me. The early Walking Dead Robert Kirkman comics, right? You'd be reading them and the writing was so good. And then someone would get attacked by a zombie, and you're like, fuck, there's zombies in this. I forgot about that. The action and some of the sequences, Ursa fucking laying siege to that Russian fucking fort, or the brothers, or Kenji trying to sneak into the fucking fortress. They are like the Predator movie. They're action stories, action movies in their own fucking right. I could have watched the Predator may not have fucking turned up at all, and you still would have had a fantastic fucking
Yep.
story with
Mm-hmm.
amazing action. Also, hello to the legend that is Eric. Eric was supposed to be in the stream, but the dude is working like a fucking cart horse. Fair fucks to him, dude. We miss you, but fucking totally understand. Don't worry about it, dude.
Yeah,
No, we will. We don't fucking worry about it. It's not life and death.
we got it.
It's
We got
YouTube.
you.
We got it. Don't sweat it. But again, all I'll say is that the animation, Benjamin Wallfish's music, there's so much fucking good elements to this that makes it such a versatile and compelling story. And yeah, I'll fucking sing its praises to the cows go home. The fourth segment, I had some issues with, and I'll get into that. But yeah, I'll move on. I'll move on to the next question. And my next question is, let's see. My next question is, which was your favorite segment? And I think it might be all the same across the board. Oh, hey, we have Lady Sasha in the chat also.
Lady Sasha.
Hey, Lady Sasha. Thanks a million. Appreciate it. Predpool, are you okay if I start with you on this question? Which was your
Yeah.
favorite segment and
Well,
why?
I kind of mentioned already. It's the one in feudal Japan with Kenji.
Sword.
Sword, because again, like you yourself touched on that. You know, the backstory of the two brothers. Then when the father dies, and then the one brother that that was pretty much either left or outcast, that comes back, and he's trying to infiltrate this and that, and things doesn't work out as well. His brother, he thought he killed him, and then the predator comes in, and like to your point, I was already invested in the story, even though I knew it was this related to Predator. But I was like, okay, this, I really care about what's going on with these two guys, as brothers, and I think it was handled very well as far as the fight scenes when the two brothers teamed up on the Predator. So the only thing they kind of it seems to be something that they've been doing a lot lately now, that they use their own Predator's weapon against them. When they had the little bomb go to his like chain hook thing, and then it blew up on his hand. So they use his own technology to pretty much beat him, even though they wound up slicing with the swords later. But it was, again, we saw it in Prey, we saw it in the other two segments. We saw these humans tend to be doing that more frequent. So I wish they kind of steer away from that a little bit in the future projects, where with just more, they're being innovative with their own resources, not relying on the Predator's resources to defeat them. But the feudal Japan one, that is my favorite segment. The last segment, the fourth segment, will come in close to second, just because of the lore information that we're receiving. There was some action that was interesting, but that part added a whole lot more to the lore, and I think it's provides more of a vital step moving forward in future projects, if they're able to do so.
It again. I get. Hey, also hello to my gorgeous girlfriend. Jen is in the chat. I love you, babe. Thanks for pimping this out. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying as well, because we got that, we got Naru using the fucking bolt gun in Prey. We kind of got that as well with fucking. I know people hate it. 2010's Predators. Quinn McKenna used whatever the fuck it was, those wrist explosive things blowing off the Predator's leg and stuff. And hey, Tony, man. But yeah, it you don't want that to be a repeat. And I did notice that myself. it wasn't for me. It wasn't detrimental, but I can see is like, okay, this trick is getting old. Like one thing with the Predator movies, the other kind of trope with the Predator movies, it's usually the Predator's arrogance or cockiness that gets him killed, particularly in Predator
Hmm.
1 and Predator 2, where he thinks he is the best Arnie or he thinks he is the best of fucking Danny, and they play possum and shit. That seems to be a trope. And is this the new trope of like using the Predator's weapons against us? Yeah, I could see that being a problem if they went to that fucking well a bit too much. Monty, which was your favorite segment and why?
Okay, well, obviously it was the sword. I like the fact that they didn't use any dialogue throughout that
Mm.
whole, other than the first beginning of the scene when we see the brothers as kids, and at the end of the scene, right before Kinoshi dies, and he says the same line to him in the beginning part of the scene in Japanese, but we get really no dialogue because we really didn't need it. We got a perfect understanding what was happening, and the fight scenes were just fantastic. Even though I really didn't have a problem of them using the brothers' weapons against them, because when you're talking about people Japan, they're not used to that technology, and once he realized that
Yeah.
stuff he could use that's just great fighting tactics. Use his opponent's weapons against him, and that turned out to be great. I thought the final scene when you thought the two brothers were going to still fight each other, but yet all they did was cut the damn thing in half. I laughed. I thought it was so funny, but that was fine, because you thought that they were still going to fight each other, but all they were doing because they knew he was still alive, even though they
Mm.
couldn't see him.
Hmm.
Mm.
It
Speaking of being clever like that, no, sorry to jump in, but I wanted to mention that when he used the red smoke to be able to
Hmm.
see his silhouette, I think that was a very clever part in that
Oh
too.
yeah, that was good too. Yeah.
one of I again kind of jumping on, and I'll get more into it. But Monty's right. That segment I loved it as well because it reminded me there's a classic GI Joe comic from Larry Hama called The Silent Issue, and it's
Hmm.
Snake Eyes breaking into the Cobra compound, and there's no fucking dialogue bubbles, and the art, it's the art style that does it, and that's what that reminded me of, that classic GI Joe issue of fucking Snake Eyes the Ninja. Like even fucking even Kenji trying to stop making noise. He's like holding one fucker up over the railing, and then they start ringing the bell, and he's like, "Ah, fuck it, I don't need to hold on to this prick anymore."
That
But I
was
love
funny.
that. But sorry, Larry, favorite segment, dude. What about you?
I mean, consensus is the sword one, man. I love that
Yeah,
one. It's so good.
that-
Um, I think Monty also said it best. Where it's like you didn't need dialogue. You understood what was going on between the brothers, and you saw like how the father was with both of them. And at first, I took it as they didn't want to fight each other, but then the one brother was like, I don't want to let my father down, so he just he
Mm.
just went into him. Um, that and then just that it kind of got you in the field without even like doing much, like even at the end when what happens to the brothers and stuff like that, like how they do get split apart, so to speak, in a way. But no, that was my favorite one. After that, I would say the Shield was my second favorite, because that one also like the mother and the son, like that dynamic, the voice acting was really well done.
mm,
It got me in the feels also.
Mhm.
And then the fourth segment was also up there. But at least the weakest for me was the bullet one. That one was
World War
the
Two.
weakest for me.
Mhm.
I found the Torres guy kind of annoying.
Oh, okay. I loved him. Taurus was actually my favorite, probably because he had the most amount of dialogue,
Yeah.
probably.
Mhm.
But I can understand as well. I can understand as well how the character is a bit too kind of like, you know he's a bit too chipper for a dude who's been hunted in an alien spacecraft, like,
Well, it's not just that.
Um,
And for one, he's in World War II, and then he's being hunted by that. So it's kind of like, how are you so chipper? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but no, I mean my favorite was definitely the sword. That one, I mean, man, it was just so good. Even the predator in that was just like, it was probably
Hmm.
my favorite looking one, was the one in that one.
Yeah, and actually, hang on a minute, guys. I just want to get. I'll have a question. I'm gonna add a question inside in the question, right? Okay, because leave it to me to fucking be as awkward as fucking possible. Um, which who is it sharing out? Which of the three of these lads was your favorite? Actually, design wise.
I gotta go to Red Baron. I had to go, yeah, because it's the first time that you actually see a predator uh use something totally different. Even with the predator from Prey, he still looked like a regular predator, but this is the first time you actually see a predator use something uh totally you would not expect a Yachu to use.
Yeah. It's and the design. He's obviously fucked around with his appearance. He shaved off his dreads, so he has
Hmm.
more range of movement inside in the cockpit. And maybe it's a nod to the classic World War I German World War I pilots. Some
Hmm.
used to have fucking eye patches and dueling scars because those fuckers all used to fence as well. So maybe it's a nod to that. What about you, Larry? What is your favorite out of the three kind of pursuing predators?
It's the second one, the one from the sword. I just the weaponry and the stuff that he uses, and like just he had that sleek sort of like. I mean, it took me back to almost like Kevin Peter Hall,
Yeah,
like sleek and like just I don't know. He was such a beast, man, with the weapons that he had, and how he
Hmm.
was tearing people up and stuff like that.
I reckon he fucking murdered Scorpion and took his fucking spear. Or fucking, I just Predpool. What about you? Which one was the favorite of these three fellas?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with also with the sword. He just took me back more to whether it be Jungle Hunter or City Hunter, the whole stealthy. He took me back to those predators. The one from the Shield, he took me to kind of like more of that hybrid predator, just because of his size and everything like that. So it took, and that's not a movie that I quite enjoyed. I do appreciate the style of the bullet. Like Monty mentioned, it's something fresh, something new.
Mhm.
But as far as the predator, the look and the way he presents himself, I have to go with the sword one. That's the one I
Yeah,
enjoyed out of the three.
Now,
As
when you
far as
were
yeah,
appearance and weapons and everything.
now what you were talking about earlier, Marty, where like he had altered himself, like for all we know, it could have been like his dreads were seared off from like previous airplane combat
yeah.
or ship combat. I
I
mean, for all we know, that because I'm assuming he's missing the eye. That's why he has the eye patch.
Patch.
So for
Hmm.
Yeah,
all we know, he might have been in like other dogfights and he survived, but it
he
like messed
got
him up.
fucked up as a result.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you think about it in that sense, that's pretty cool as well. That he actually he's that scarification. Similar to Wolf, where he's missing
Yeah,
Hmm.
the the mandible, and he's got
mandible.
like one
Hmm.
like eye is like just white.
I think yeah, I think both things are legitimate because a fucker like that was probably in numerous dogfights with other alien species, possibly in more fucking advanced spacecraft. Or it could I wouldn't put predators beyond mutilating themselves to make themselves more efficient fucking killers either. But yeah, no, that's as just as credible as that. Like the fact that he fucking got cooked in his aircraft and he's like shit. Um, Jen says the middle design, the sword one, is her favorite. And Tony says the first one for him, he gets a kind of God of War vibes off it. I like that
Hmm.
fucker as well. That big
Yeah.
fucking brutish motherfucker with a morning star, the fucking Sonic morning star for a fucking hand. And you're like, this fucking prick, he mashes some poor fucking prick into the Raptors and stuff. I love that. I thought that was wicked, man.
Well, see,
Um,
that was the thing when I was watching it, and I was watching that first segment. I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome!" And then I saw the sword one. And I was like, "Oh man, this one's even better." It's kind of like I was like, "Man, they're just like getting better." And then the bullet one, I was like, "Okay, well, this one is my third. And then I saw the last segment, and we'll get to that. But no, yeah. I mean, yeah, that even that big brute one, man, that one was pretty cool too.
That was that fucking that guy kicked arse. Um, let's see. Next question. Sorry, guys. I have a fucking head like a sieve. So my next question, Larry, I'll start with you. Who was your favorite character from the movie?
It would have to be again from well, no, you know what? I was gonna say from Sword, but no, it was the mother in the Shield,
Hmm.
because she like through the whole thing, like just her, you know, she her story and her losing her father because she had basically had to kill her own father, and then having to get revenge like that, and then it's just like, showing her son that, and then she had to get revenge for her son. So it's just like I feel like she had the more, and then she sacrificed herself at the end so they can get away. Sorry, spoiler alert, guys.
No, no,
But
no. I
It's
fucking you're
okay.
grand. I've That's why I got the fucking banner at the bottom. I think Ursa for me was an interesting character in that she was someone who had just made vengeance her life, and
Hmm.
it's the classic kind of analogy. Those who seek vengeance should dig two graves, but instead of fucking getting herself killed, she got her son killed. And then later on, when she takes out the grappling hook, she's like, "Do not avenge me." Her
true.
her quote
Mm.
unquote final words are, "Do not avenge me." She has come to the realization that brings you nothing but misery and heartache. And I, we're not dealing with Schindler's List here, but there's a lot going on for a fucking movie about space monsters hunting people through fucking time. Okay, and I think that is great fucking character development.
Yeah, that's
Ursula's
what.
a brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is
Mm.
like I feel like that one got me in the feels, and I mean it's an animated, you know, Viking fighting predators. It's like, and it still got me in the feels. I was like, wow, man, it's like really good. And yeah, that's what I liked about her. And like you said, where she says that don't avenge me. That's like it stops with me. You know,
Yeah,
that's like, man, that was a strong message for her to do that. Like you
and
said, she realized it was like, okay, I want, like, this stops with me, and that's it. Like, don't offend her.
yeah,
So
it's she kind of gets kind of the realization too late, but she gets that realization
yeah.
and she matures and has a character arc. Monty, who was your favorite character from any of the segments?
I would have to go with John Torres. Yeah, John Torres. I think because out of all the character, he is the one that you would not expect to be a actual fighter, as opposed to like say with Ursula or even with Kenji and Kenoshi. Those were true. All three of those were real experienced fighters. But with John Torres, he's really not a fighter. He uses his brain more than anything else, as opposed to his fighting skills. His fighting skills is his brain, and he's the one that actually figures out that the heat is the reason why the predator, this guy, is attacking us. So he knows he has to shut the engines down, and he comes up with very interesting ways in order to defeat him. And he fly his ass off. That's for sure.
That it was a cool way he fucking took out that predator, and just like again he had learned, he while he wasn't a warrior in the physical sense, he
Hmm.
had that mechanical mentality because of his father, and he just had that sense, just like at the start when his father knew how to fucking restart the car. He had this kind of sense to know, okay, I gotta fucking time this just right or I'm fucking dead meat. And I thought that kicked ass. Hey, Brian Kubrick lover is in the chat there.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, John Torres. I can get where Larry's coming from as well. It's like, okay, you're a bit too fucking upbeat for a guy who's been drafted and now hunted by an alien fucking dog fighter. But I think the voice actor, particularly in the fourth segment, I think he fucking shone through absolutely in the fourth kind of I don't know, coda segment. That's my opinion. But
Yeah,
Red Bull. Oh, sorry,
Rick.
sorry. Man.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, Rick Gonzalez, he did a pretty good job. He actually carries the fourth segment. That's what I think, because
Yeah,
unfortunately, he's the only one that can speak English. He's speaking English, but he does carry the fourth act.
I loved like his reaction when Kenji gets the katana and Ursa gets the battle axe, and then
Mhm.
he gets the fucking flintlock, and he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This isn't even from my century." I just loved his
Yeah, I
fucking
know
reaction.
that was funny. Was that the same flintlock that John
Yeah, it was
John?
Raphael Andolini's flintlock, and we get. I like that as well. They don't fucking drop that in there. We get an explanation to how they fucking got it. I'm going to be interested to see how fucking Greyback gets his hands on it, which makes me think that that fourth segment may not be set in the future or present. I think that might still be set in the past, but we'll
Mm.
get to that. Predpool, who was your favorite character throughout?
Well, after I finished, when got to the end of it, there's gotta be Naru. She was the coolest one out of everybody because she was in cryo. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Fuck's sake. Jesus Christ.
No, but I'm here all night. No, I have to go with Kenji. Kenji because even as a kid, really doesn't want to fight or kill. He's not an aggressor. Um, and he's cool. He try to things. He's one that plans and thinks things through, and he adapts quickly. Like I mentioned before, with the red smoke, he
Mhm.
was able to, okay, if I do this, I could be able to see him. If okay, this little thing that explodes, if I hook it to his arm, it'll explode his arm. So, and then we get to the fourth act. We see he's trying to keep the team together. He's trying to say, "Hey, let's work together. Let's not fight each other. Let's get this resolved."
Mhm.
He has leadership qualities there. Ursa is like the opposite, and she's a leader. She was officially a leader with her
Mhm.
clan, and she just, head first. Let's just crush the enemy, get this out of the way. I don't care what happens. You just get it done. So both methods had his time and place, but I think Kenji, he's just the one that, that's the one that the character that I feel like, okay, this is a person that really examines the situation, tries his best to get out of it, and tries to actually work with other people to get things done. So that's why he was my favorite character. Even with his brother, when his brother was dying, he kind of makes sure that his brother's last words that he hears was him saying, "You're not alone. I'm here
Mhm.
with you." So
Mhm.
he has a heart. He's not just a cold blooded killer ninja. He has he thinks about other people.
Yeah,
Well,
Oh, go on, Larry.
well, I was gonna say, and to piggyback off that, I didn't really think he was like when he basically sliced his brother's face. Like I that was it. I don't think he really wanted to. He didn't want
Mm-mm.
to kill him. He just wanted to make them even.
He just
Mhm.
wanted to
And
prove a point. That was
yeah,
it.
he
Yeah, he
wanted
just
to
wanted to
prove a
prove it.
point. Like yeah, I can get to you, and I can, no matter what. Like I'm that good still, or I'm as good as you, or whatever. And because as soon as the other brother fell back on the thing and it split and he fell, like you saw his. I mean, he was
No,
heartbroken.
he
He
was
thought his
dejected as fuck.
yeah.
He was like,
Mhm.
and again, I like that brilliant symbolism. The father literally and metaphorically caused a split between them when he fucking hit that railing. That was perfect fucking writing.
Hmm.
Um, I'm with you guys. I liked Kenji. Eric's gonna fucking take the piss out of me. I was a bit because I know Fred Pool. We were discussing this as well. I would have liked if there was some kind of indication that he was an ancestor to Hanzo, because it's Louis Ozawa from 2010's Predators that does the voice of Kenji. What little dialogue we get, but I would have, or I would have loved even if Kenji's sword was the one Hanzo had found at the fucking at the thing. Yeah, I'm still a fucking fanboy at heart, but no, Kenji was pretty awesome. But I think John Torres wins out for me just by a smidge, because just the guy blade likability. Yes, he was a bit too happy-go-lucky for a dude whose ass is now fucking being hunted by an alien in a fucking extraterrestrial aircraft. But there was just something about the dude that you're like, yeah, you wanted to root for the other ones, but you really didn't want anything to happen to John Torres. I just thought that there was a lot of fun to be had with that character.
Well, when we get to our minor gripes, I'll say my piece on that.
Oh, well, do you know what? This is a perfect transition. So, Larry, I'm going to start with you. If any, what issues had you with the movie?
I feel like somebody should have died.
Okay.
I mean, I don't, I not necessarily Torres, or I just think somebody should have, like, I think it was too, like, really, you're gonna go against clan leader like that, and then I can understand, okay, the other predators, like, I felt like somebody had to, like, die. I thought it was too, like, really, we're gonna, you know, it's coincidental that these three are gonna survive this. You know what I mean? So there was that gripe, and then I had a huge gripe when I saw the pistol at first, but the payoff was like, makes sense. So then that
That
kind
makes
of,
sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
that ended up like, okay, okay, I'm okay then, because at first I was like, come on, man,
This
seriously.
fucking this fucking pistol is getting around more than a teenage girl at a fucking co-ed party. Can we just please keep the gun in one location?
Yeah,
Please.
like, but no, when you get that payoff at the end, I was
Nice.
like,
Yeah,
okay, you brought me
we'll
back
get
in.
into that. We'll get into that in the fourth act and stuff because that. But is there any? I get what you're saying. The stakes there wasn't as high stakes because the characters weren't killed, or you didn't feel that there was any kind of real jeopardy. But because of that, yeah,
Yeah, because at first when they started showing, like, that basically that they were alive, I was kind of like, okay, well, kind of taken away from the intensity of them, like, getting chased by the predator. I felt, and then so I was like, okay, well, maybe it'll pay off something. Which part of the payoff that I did like was that Ursa sacrificed herself.
hmm,
I like that, and I was like, oh man, like, and then they show her being in a cryo tube, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I thought that was, they didn't kill her, but I guess that was a way of them honoring that she, of what she
so
did.
yeah.
But I
I
still feel like somebody should have, like, somebody should have bit the dust. I think it would have hit a
John
little bit
Torres.
harder.
Hashtag Larry hates John Torres. Um,
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, not necessarily him. I mean, just I feel like one of them should have, like, I think if she would have sacrificed herself and got killed doing it, I felt like that would have hit a little bit harder, or even, like, I mean, because even when what's his name,
Kenji.
Kenji got
Kenji.
his arm cut off, I was like, oh, like, I was like, oh man, I felt for him, so I feel like if I was, that means I was invested, you know what I mean, and I feel like that would have hit a little bit harder if somebody would have died, you know. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's just me. I like tragic endings,
No,
I
no,
guess.
I get you. No, no, but that, like that said, if the sense of jeopardy is definitely depleted, if you kind of feel that the characters weren't going to be nerfed, maybe it's just the fact as well we're so used to Predator movies where the ensemble cast is whittled down, where this one is like, oh fuck it, they all made it.
Yeah,
Like
that's why I was kind of
that's
like,
Mhm.
hmm. Um.
like I mean, because
Oh
there was no clear. I mean, if you think about it, from the three, they were all different, and I like that too. I like the fact that, I like the part when John Torres, when he has the pistol, and he automatically assumed it was loaded, and Ursa was coming at him, and then, like, he pulls the trigger, and it wasn't loaded, So it's like, it's not a, what do you call it? It's not like a situation where, like, oh, it's perfect, and then he was trying to figure out how to
yeah,
load it
yeah.
and everything. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like, it's not like, it's not he's gonna get everything on the first try. You know what I mean? And I like that too. I like, it wasn't just he figured it out, like, oh, this, and this. Like, there was there was some tension there with that. And I like that.
Like Naru in Prey, she fucks up a
Right.
couple of times, and like
Yep.
like you're like, oh fuck, they just ate John Torres, and he's still alive.
Hmm.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that part. But Monty, what about yourself?
Um, I guess it's nitpicking when John Torres gets swallowed by the monster predator.
The goatee.
Yeah,
That's
the
that
goatee.
fucking thing. They done a deep cut. They brought something from this video game and put it into the fucking movie. Trachtenberg is definitely a franchise fan because they brought shit that turned up in a video game from fucking 2003, I think, and they put it in
Wow.
the
Well,
fucking movie.
he even said when they were getting ready to do Prey, he was like, he was expecting 20th Century Fox to put him in some like big archive with all the stuff, and they didn't do that. Like he was wanting to go into that lore. Like I saw or not an interview. I read an article where he was like, he thought he was gonna, be able to like see all the archives of everything and then just go to town. That's why the pistol thing he didn't know until after the fact. He didn't know until after the movie where the actual pistol came from. And no, that's Monty. Like, it's a good thing you reminded me of that. That was the other thing. I was like, oh man, and then all of a sudden he was alive. I was like, oh, okay, well.
It's
Slow digestion, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like, how's he still alive? Didn't the monster swallow him? He didn't.
it made shit. It made shit. Also, no one can tell me Dan Trachtenberg isn't a fan of Star Wars Attack of the Clones, because that was Mustafar or whatever the fuck that planet was called. I don't know. The fucking the end with
Genosha.
yeah, even with your man, even one of the Predators poking the goatee and getting fucking eaten. That was like, that's fucking Attack of the Clones. That's the arena battle from Attack of the Clones. Also, hello, Creepy McGee. Just want to read out his comment here. It might have played out, but I thought it would have been cool to mix the animation styles like Gotham Knight or Animatrix. Yeah, I think I'm glad they kept. The consistent animation style.
Yeah, I understand it, but nah. I'm
I
glad
think
they kept it all the same.
it would have been okay if they didn't have the fourth act. But since they had the fourth act where they all came together, and then you kind of, okay, which animation do we use then? They had different. So I think unless they created a fourth one, but I think it's fine the way it is with just one style.
So, yeah. That's my only nitpicking of the thing is when he gets swallowed by the Gorta, and next thing you know, he's still alive. And it's like, how's he still alive?
Yeah, exactly.
He's still alive.
Like, yeah, because when I saw him get swallowed, I was like, oh, and I was like, oh man, and then
wouldn't that mean that Predator would be alive then? He's just missing an arm.
Yeah, true.
I mean, if that's the case.
Yeah. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, that's my only nitpick of the film was I know how he's still living. He's still living. It's like because I'm assuming he swallowed him whole. He didn't bite down on him.
Now, could he have been stuck somewhere near the throat area? Maybe that's what it was. He didn't get to the stomach, but he got like because he was jabbing and the creature was complaining. So maybe it was like within this trachea area that he was at. Maybe
it's possible. I'm pretty sure some people will explain it and probably say no, he didn't. He swallowed them whole, so he did. That's why he was still alive and he got caught in his throat area.
It's like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Drax at the beginning.
Yeah.
That. I don't know, man. Like, what about you, Predpool?
I got a couple, but again, they're small. It's nothing like saying that I ruined any. But I'll start with the shield. Ursa had like her clans people. Like there's at least 3 of them that kind of like they were pretty cool in my opinion. You had the guy with the wolf kelp. We had the girl with the daggers, and then she had like pretty much like guy that seemed to be like a right hand man guy. So, they're doing great. They go attack the fort. They kill all these other Vikings. She does most of the work, but the other ones, you see their skills. They're pretty good too. So when the Predator shows up, it's just one hit kills right after the other. Boom, boom, boom. Then the girl, yeah, she manages to throw, I guess, like an antler type dagger thing to the Predator's arm, and boom, one shot, she's dead. I think because of the restriction of time that they had, that's why they did it. But I would have liked to see them put up a better fight. Still die, obviously, but at least show more of their, these were like top guys with her that they had experience of fighting. I would like to have seen them give a harder time for the Predator. Not that each one be taken out with one hit and
I
that be it. As far
I
as for me, my preference.
I've heard the same complaint from Jen's daughter, Sparky, Velvet. They said that the segment should have been longer, and like you were saying, it would have been interesting to see that Predator pick off each team member individually, like in the
Mm.
original Predator. So, like, there's a different kill for say fucking the stag lady and the wolf
Hmm.
guy and stuff like that, because as you said, he just fucking one punch kills them. Like they're nothing. They're
Yeah,
nerfed. They're
and
taken
they
out
weren't like
easily.
just regular looking, Viking guy. They had like their own little style, and like the wolf, the guy with the wolf. I was like, kind of rooting for him in a way when I saw him. Like, yeah, I hope this guy can do something. I know he's going to die probably, but at least so something cool that he does. So that's one, as far as nitpick that I have, and that's in the shield. Then when I jump in forward towards the bullet, getting out of the plane, and trying to take out the fire, and this and that. Oh, come on! I mean, like even in animation, you kind of okay, there's some
Suspension
stretches,
of
but this is
disbelief.
way too much of a stretch. He's getting out of the plane trying. If he had
Hey,
just
he's, he's,
stayed the
cha- he's
plane,
challenging Tom Cruise.
if he had stayed the plane and say the part fell off and he deducted, okay, the thing went after that piece that fell off that's on fire, and that would have been suffice. He didn't have to get out of the plane for him to figure that out. That's a heat seeking thing and this and that. They I think they dropped the ball in that part of it. And going back to the beginning of the bullet, it shows a crop duster and then they show him in a car.
Mm.
I would have preferred that they would have shown him like figure out how to fly on his own on that crop duster, showing how how he figured things out on himself, how much he loves flying, showing he just flies off on that crop duster by himself with his dad. What are you doing? And so that way, when it gets to the end of the fourth act, it pays off, showing that he figures how to fly things. He likes to do that. So when he flies the Predator ship, you already got that crop duster experience from the beginning, showing that that's what he does. He figures things out of flying because that's what he loves to do. Instead of just with the car driving around and this and that, I think it would have kind of made his character arc a little bit more um, realistic. I want to say in a Predator world, that's why he was able to figure out to fly a spaceship because he just loves it and he figures things like that out.
He's mechanically minded, like he's fought. But yeah, you get again. You're right. I think a majority of the kind of shortcomings for this is the runtime on each segment. I think you could have. It's a beautiful looking sculpture, but I think if they were given more time, it would have been an absolute unique masterpiece. To me, it's a masterpiece, but I can definitely see a broader scope, a couple more minutes, maybe 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, you would have had a more kind of refined story. But still, the segments we got are still fucking. Even yourself, you have to admit, we still got fucking absolutely gorgeous, fucking well told stories. And yeah, there are shortcomings. You're not wrong there. And I
No, no,
think,
and again, these are just nitpicks. I'm not saying the bullet is ruined completely because that didn't happen. No, I enjoyed it still,
yeah,
Mm.
but I think it would enhance my experience if something like that similar had occurred with that and what I mentioned with the shield. But the shield, yes, there would have been more runtime required to show that. But yeah, those are my main nit. I was gonna mention the nitpick but as far as like it has been established in Predator 2 and AVP that the winners they get a trophy.
yeah.
That they the clan leader comes and say, okay, here's the pistol or here's our Predator tech spear that you can keep
Yeah.
in AVP. But now we see here that they're taken, the winners just taken as cryostasis and used for later use. But based on our
This,
conversation earlier, Trash, I think
yeah,
this is a different clan. That's
yeah.
kind of almost like a bad blood type thing, that they don't follow that honor code. They just, okay, you won, so you're going to be used again later. This is just a whole
I,
splinter group that does their own thing.
and thanks to Predpool, I have no way of talking about my nickname. No, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
Oh, I mean, I
No,
had that too. I'm sorry.
no, no,
Eh,
Sorry.
no. No, I can. No, myself and Predpool were discussing this earlier on, and the movie starts off with the Predator Codex, which is essentially their Bible.
Hmm.
There's rules, there's an honor system, there's things that stop you being a bad blood, there's things that kind of prevent kind of unfair hunts. And to an extent, the predators have always been quote unquote cheaters, be it using cloak, be it using energy based weapons. They've always taken an advantage, but they've always kept a level of honor and a level of kind of fairness. Not perfect fairness now. Again, these fuckers are using cloaking technology and energy based weapons, but there's something about these guys, particularly this fucker here. I'm going to show you a picture of him now because I want to set the record straight. For a lot of people are confused, and it was just Ursa's term for him. She called him the Grendel King. This is
Hmm.
not. This guy is not a predator king. Everyone is saying he's like the overlord of the. He's not. He's a warlord. He's the Genghis Khan of Yautja, and like myself and Predpool were discussing earlier on, these guys have shifted the goalposts continuously throughout this animation. There is it's not a fair hunt. These guys are maybe cut from the same cloth as the bad bloods from 2010. Like myself and Predpool said, the whole aspect of them kidnapping their prey and hunting them on their fucking terms. That is very much a bad blood Predator 2010s tends to do. These are not honorable. And the other big hint is the fucker is wearing another predator skull as a helmet. He is wearing that in Yautja society. You cannot make a trophy. In honorable Yautja society, you cannot make a trophy of another hunter. You're not supposed to do that. The only other time we've ever seen that is in a comic called Predator Bad Blood, where another fucker is using a predator skull as a paltrum. You do not use another Yautja warrior as a fucking prey item. But these guys are obviously bad bloods or renegades. And like the thing is, I could go on. I'm probably going to go on a soapbox, so I'll try and keep this brief. There is an entire planet of these species, just like there are so many indigenous races on this planet. Not everyone is going to have the same culture. Not everyone is going to have the same fucking kind of not everyone's going to have the same culture. Not everyone's going to have the same kind of societal taboos. And if you're going to ask me, these guys, while not out and out bad bloods, are not what would be the kind of, dare I say, more honorable predators like the city hunter or like the jungle hunter. These guys they will shift the parameters to suit their hunt, regardless of the honor system. Larry, what did you get the kind of air of bad blood off these guys, or do you think that they're just like any other run of the mill predator?
well, it's I mean to kind of like to your point. I mean, just look at the end when they go after him. It's time for a hunt, and then all those ships go after those two people.
Yeah,
You know, I was like, how is
it
that?
that's not fair.
How fair? Yeah, exactly. How fair is that? I mean, going back to them kidnapping, uh, that I mean, that's like you said, it's a callback to like Predators, and then not only that, but it goes back to the original Robert Rodriguez uh, Predator 3 script that he did,
Yeah,
where in that
Hmm.
one they kidnapped Dutch, they kidnapped Danny Glover, and they put him in that arena thing. So I mean, it's I like that they kind of did that. I didn't think of it that they were bad bloods until you pointed out that he uses that helmet as a predator skull as a helmet. And I'm like, oh man, I didn't even think about that before. But then now thinking about it, plus all those ships going after them, I was like, yeah, man, that's to your point. Yeah, it screams bad blood almost. I just thought it was a clan leader or something, and maybe it is a clan leader for these bad bloods. Who knows?
But if you also look at the predator that got his head blown off, he's more of a jungle hunter, city hunter look. If you compare it to the two guards next to him, the
Hmm.
two guards look more like the predator from Prey. They, the head tendrils are different.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So I think again, these might be in conflict with the traditional predator that we've seen, especially from the first two movies.
Yeah, again, I just anyone who's going around saying, "Oh, this guy is the fucking, the king of the predators," or this guy's the fucking the leader of the. It's not. We don't even know if this is Yautja Prime. It could be. It fucking could be. But I think that it would be as much as a leap it is for me to say these are bad bloods. I think it's an even bigger leap to say that this is a fucking the leader of the race and this is the home planet.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I didn't think of him as like the ultimate. I thought he was like a clan leader. Like that's
mm.
ever since the first trailer when you see him walking off, or the trailer when they first showed him like the back of him. I thought, oh, is this a clan leader? You know.
I was thinking that with the tendrils as well
Hmm.
because of the fucking
Hmm.
the figure. But I think we're going to get that fucker. I think we're going to get a variant of him in Badlands because of the helmet and the hair. Um, Monty, as probably the sanest member of this panel when it comes to this franchise, what's your what's your thoughts? Do you think this guy is just a run of the like as someone who isn't as invested as in the expanded media as me and the guys here, as to an outset from an outset, did this guy just come across as any other run of the mill predator, or did you get the vibe this guy is a bit of a fucking shithead, kind of fucking gangster, low life predator? Or did you think he's just like any other one? What did you get the feeling with this guy?
I got the sense he's somewhat similar to the Predator and Alien. I mean, the first Alien Predator film when he gives Sonny Lathan the whatchamacallem, and he sees the mark on her cheek, and he sees
Mm.
that obviously she must have did something, and he gives her what did he give her? I can't remember.
Combi
A
stick.
combi stick.
Combi
Yeah, he
stick.
gave her the combi stick. Yeah, I think he's more on that level, even though he's much bigger than that Predator. But I don't think he's the be all of all the Predator. I think he's just one of the leaders of the whatever clan that they're part of.
But
But
but but did
not knowing that much about Predator mythology, I'm pretty sure whatever type of cast that they have, or if they do have might as well say a Predator King. I don't know if they have that type of monastery, depending upon how their race is set up. But I'm pretty sure they have all clan leaders. So I think he's just a clan leader of whatever planet that they're on.
did you get the feeling that he was more now again? One thing that does fucking drive me nuts, and I'm not trying to perpetuate this. Did you get the feeling he was more of a villainous predator, or more than the other standard predators? Did you get the feeling this guy's just
Not a
a no
villainous.
good cheater?
Yeah, no, not a villainous predator. I think he was just the leader of their clan, and what they're doing different as opposed to what we've seen in all the other predator movies. That they're just taking the people that defeat their members or whatever clan that they are, just using them as sport. They
Yeah,
have them fight each other, and then he says, you get to fight me."
yeah.
Hmm.
I again, I have a feeling. I don't know. I'm with Pred Pool. I think these guys are moving the goalposts to suit themselves. So I don't think
Hmm.
they're as honorable. And it just maybe it's because I'm such a fucking fanboy for this franchise. I just wish they would fucking lock down what I feel that we get a bit of it's a bit too ambiguous what the story. And don't get me wrong, I like ambiguous kind of ideals, especially for the predator. You don't want to lose the mystery and whatnot. But I just wish we would get more kind of clarity on what this guy's clan is all about. But that's just
Mhm.
me. I'm being a hardcore fanboy. Apologies.
Well,
So I'm gonna. Oh, go on. Sorry, Larry.
well, no, I mean, but it goes back. It goes back to like the biggest complaint is the runtime. It's like it's kind of
Mm,
one of those things where like, I mean, I would imagine they could have done some. I mean, in the future, maybe they can kind of give you a little bit more information. Now, if they do something where like they do another one and these predators are going after, they're going after Torres and Genji. That's like, and then all of a sudden other predators come up and they start fighting against these guys with Torres. I'm gonna be like, ah, come on, man, you know. But no, no, no. Beyond that, it's like I just think the runtime it kind of hinders a lot of that, and
yeah.
I'm glad that they kind of leave it sort of vague like that because it kind of makes people like us like wonder and like, oh man, and we start making up stuff, what it could be and ideas in our head, and I think that's good storytelling to me at least. I mean, it makes
No,
you
you're,
wonder
you're
about
you're
it.
right. You're right. You're right.
I will say this though, I mean, for them being not so honorable, why would they freeze them then? Like, why didn't they just kill the girl like Ursa? Why did they freeze
Yeah,
her?
that's a good
That's
point, but it's still kind of shitty though as well. It's like fucking for God's sake, send her home. Send her. Sure, everyone is dead and the world. It's probably a frightening mess to someone who grew up in the Viking times, but just
right. But if
fucking
they
give
send
her a
her,
reward.
if they send her home now, like there is no home because,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're going based off of like not in the future, but in like at the point where they got John Torres and that's World War II, there's nothing for her to go home to. It'll be like Ripley and Aliens.
Yeah.
It'll be something
I
similar to that.
I again, I don't know. I just I want to know what the fucking story is with these guys because they're definitely not on the fucking level. Whether they're bad blood or not, that was the one thing that kind of fucking confused me. Um, so I'm gonna land you with the last question I have, lads, and I'm gonna start with you, Predpool, if that's okay. Would
Okay.
you like to see this get a resolution in a live action movie, or would you be okay with another animated sequel? Which would you prefer?
Um, Preference, I would like to see continue in animation as far as these three characters. However, seeing how their world building,
Mhm.
we already see the connection with Prey. Nuru was thrown into animation. When Badlands comes out, I won't doubt that they have a connection with Badlands with this anthology in some way, some form. Whether it be Torres and Kenji somehow find this new predator and say the Fanning's character somehow they
Oh, let
become.
all there 1 minute,
But
Predpool.
I won't be
Sorry,
surprised if
just
that
give me
becomes a
1 minute.
live action thing.
Okay, stop. Tembo, do us a favor. Go watch this because we're discussing spoilers and we don't want to fucking spoil the twist.
Yes.
Okay. No, seriously. Awesome. Thank you for stopping in. Really appreciate it. And I'm never going to tell someone not to watch one of my streams. But please, this is a great movie, so I don't want it spoiled on you.
Mm.
Sorry, Predpool. But what else were you saying about that? Well, would
So
you?
I wouldn't put past it that in Badlands, whether it be at the end or end credit, somehow this is connect. They throw something from this movie, from Killer Killers, at the end, whether it be
Mhm.
Torres or something, or this predator shows up for something. It's going to be connected. I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to do again like a Marvel Universe type thing. That the stories connect and eventually throw in the Xenos, or they go into the Xeno world because they already mentioned the two directors said they would love to do that. That out of the blue, one of these creatures shows
I'm
up in the other. So then eventually to a new AVP thing. Um, but going back to the original question, I would prefer that they continue this story animated but I doubt that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to throw at least an Easter egg in future live projects referring to this.
It again, you hit the nail on the head. They're trying to do their own version of Star Wars. They're trying to do their own version of Marvel. This is the equivalent of a what if kind of story that's connected to the fucking multiverse saga. God knows what fucking thing's happening. Larry, what about you? Would you like to see a sequel to this in live action or keep it in the animated format?
Um, Honestly, I would like to keep it animated. For one, you can go anywhere with it animated. I feel I feel a lot of things, and that was the thing with Prey is like the reason why it did so well is just because they were able to, it was such a smaller budget compared to something else. I mean, and animation with these characters and this storyline, it would be best suited for that. Um, Now, like if it turns up in live action, like like Predpool was saying, like an Easter egg here or there, I think that would be pretty cool. It's kind of like right now with, hopefully, spoiler alert, guys, with Naru's
Yeah.
animated appearance. It's kind of like, wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. So why not do it the opposite way? You know,
Yeah,
just throw a little something in there.
it helps pan out the universe. It certainly does help kind of pan out that the universe that bigger. Um, Monty, what about yourself? Would you like to see this in some kind of live action, a sequel in some kind of live action format, or would you prefer to keep it in an animated format?
Even though I would love to keep it in animated format, I get the feeling that Dan Trachtenberger is going to include elements of this story in the Badlands.
Mhm.
Uh, there has to be a purpose of why they included Nauru in that end scene right there, and then we got Badlands coming up right here because just like this, no one knew this was coming out until we saw the trailer for it because they say it in the secret. I don't know if it was after they filmed Badlands or before they started filming Badlands, since we might have done it at the same time, for all we know. But yeah, I get the feeling as much as I would like to see animated sequel to this. I'm thinking whatever elements they're going to use in Badlands, you're going to see whatever elements they take from this story, you're going to see it in Badlands. Whether it's Ursula, whether it's Naru, or somebody, you're
Okay.
probably going to see something in
The pistol.
Badlands.
You okay?
You're gonna see the pistol, man.
Yeah, the
The
pistol.
fucking pistol.
Like
Where's this fucking
this whole
gun
thing is
coming
gonna be
from?
that
It's like
it's gonna be
this
that
fucking
friggin'
thing.
pistol. I bet you anything.
Again, this fucking weapon gets around more than fucking, I don't know. Jesus Christ, the
That's what's going to
Kardashian.
save Fanning's character's existence.
The elements, the gun is broken down and they use it to make the synthetic that Fanning played.
I will say this to piggyback what Monty said. The elements are gonna. I feel the elements are gonna be there because Trachtenberg he didn't necessarily completely do Killer of Killers, but he was basically overseeing that
Yeah.
while doing Badlands. So there has to be like, hey, there has to be some sort of something, some sort of
Interwoven.
continuity. Yeah, like
Interwoven with it, yeah.
I honestly think that will happen. What it will be, man, who knows? But I'm still kind of hesitant on Badlands because of yeah.
I, I'm again. I'm going to fucking wait to see what happens. But regardless, I'm happy.
Yeah.
This is my Predator movie I've seen.
Mhm.
This is my Predator movie for 2025. Maybe fucking like this, Badlands might exceed my expectations. I have the bar set low, and I'm not trying to be a dick about it, Predpool. I genuinely, there are things in that trailer I am very trepidatious about. There's stuff I like. I'm still adamant it's a secret AVP movie because Will and Yutani are all over that fucking trailer like the fucking clap, man. Seriously, there's that logo appears too many fucking times in that trailer for it to be an Easter egg. Okay. that we're gonna get is I think we're gonna get an egg, or the big bad that Deck is hunting is a queen or a Praetorian or some fucking variant. I don't know. Um yeah,
Well,
regard go on.
well, if you guys just real quick, if you guys seen the preview for the new Alien series, a lot of
Yeah.
people are saying that they're hearing the clicking noise of the Predator and parts of it.
Yeah.
So
No,
whether
no,
if one of those creatures is a predator, we don't know. But
I
I
feel
Yeah,
like
I
that's a
no,
little
I
bit of a
actually,
stretch, though.
yeah, I actually thought because I heard it too. I said it's not the predator, is it? This is alien, not predator.
I I don't think so. Look, Noah Hawley is a great fucking creator, and he's going to do. He says he's doing his own thing. He's not going to be acknowledging now whether or not fucking he has his arm twisted by 20th Century Studios. I know they're trying to distance themselves from some of the prior stuff, but but although fucking Romulus did reference it, Noah Hawley has said he's not referencing Prometheus or fucking he's not going to be referencing Prometheus or Covenant. Now, whether he references Romulus, I'm not 100% sure. Um, I can't see him putting a Predator into that show because that would fucking alter it too much. That would,
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much continuity. It'll be a lot of
yeah,
continuity issues if he were to add that. No. I think he's just going to stick with the aliens and have it somehow, whatever his end game is, connected to the events that had take place in the '79 film Alien.
yeah. It's, and
so you
again, I
think
have,
you think if any reference might be in Romulus, but they're gonna do Romulus too, correct?
yeah, it's going to start in October. Initial filming is starting in October, if I'm not mistaken. I read it
Hmm.
somewhere. Again,
I
I'm not sure about that fucking TV show either, though. It's like Ripley fucking went through all this shit, but it turns out, you know what? They were on Earth all along, and they
well,
were also
but
on Earth in the Arctic. Fuck.
but it's like it's like I had told you, Marty. Like it might just be something where it's like that's why the company has such a hard on for the
Yeah,
xenomorphs. That might be
yeah.
why. Like that might be the whole thing. Like because in the original Alien, the company's like they're saying at that point they're like, oh, we want you to get it. You know, well,
So
why? Like why
obviously
were
they
they
know.
so hard? I mean, and this is me like reaching. This is me like, but I mean, it would that if you wanted to kind of piggyback and say like, oh well, this is why because this was the first. And I don't want to say that either. I feel like it puts it in its own. It puts it in a
Yeah.
box. If they say like this was the real first encounter of the company seeing the xenomorphs, but I think that could be a way that hey, this was our first experience, or this is an experience we had with it. This is why we want it. I mean,
Okay.
when I thought about it like that, I was kind of like, okay, that's you know, I'm okay
Okay.
with that. But I mean,
I
like, but I totally agree with what you said. Everything that Ripley goes through, it kind of,
undermines.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I'm hoping to say, look, this is either a really great fucking year to be an Alien and Predator fan, or a really shitty year to be an Alien fan. We've yet to fucking see. Um, one other thing I want to say, because a lot of videos are putting out that, oh yeah, this is this movie Killer of Killers is referencing volume 3 of the Marvel comic. It's not. It's referencing volume 2, because volume 2 is the one that introduces plucking characters from different points in Earth's history. Not volume 3. Volume 3, though, I will give it its credit. It introduces the cryonics, but volume 2 is the one that has a character, a gangster from 1980s London, a Gulf War vet, a dude from 2065, another couple from 2023. So yeah, this is essentially Predators from 2010, but with characters from different periods of history. So this is what done it first, not fucking volume 3. But yeah, I'm any last thoughts before I run it off here, Monty? Any final thoughts that you want to discuss or mention
Yeah, no,
before we
no,
run it
no. I
off?
think we talked over everything.
Predpool, what about yourself?
I'm just really glad that this movie came out. Even though there are some things that I found as minor flaws, but I think it after Prey is steering the franchise as of right now to the right direction.
Hmm.
Hopefully, they stay the course. Hopefully, Badlands, maintains the momentum moving forward. They're really writing to see how Killers of Killers and how Badlands performs to see what other projects can come afterwards. So right now they got to win. They got to now get another win so that we can see more of these characters, and hopefully they keep doing the right thing with these characters because we don't want another thing like with Marvel where they start off strong and then later down the road they start losing fans because they're not making everybody happy. They're just making a few
Yeah.
people happy.
Hmm. Yeah,
What What about yourself,
we didn't
Clark?
want to
Oh,
we don't want a fan force take with the Predator.
yeah. Oh God, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
we don't want this. We don't want these huge divisions and stuff like that happening. Right now, people are, for the most part, enjoying Killers of Killers. Yes, some things people have, but overall, people seem to be excited in general. Like saying
Hmm.
this has been, I've seen more positives than negatives, and I haven't seen, backlash and back and forth. So hopefully, they can keep it that way.
Cool, cool. Larry, any final thoughts on this that you want to mention or?
Well, I have two questions.
Sure,
One,
go for it.
one. I'm a purist. So like, did anybody get excited when you heard the original roar coming from the clan leader?
Yes,
Did anybody get
that
Yeah,
upset
roar.
other than
Yeah,
myself?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
when I heard that, I literally
yeah.
like I was like, yes, we got it, man. We got it. I'm fine because all the other predators they had like different like roars, and I liked that they it was differentiating, but it's just that original like predator roar, man. I was like, ah, I was like, yes, we got it. My other question is, which one of these would you like to see any figures made of any of those predators?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
all of them. I wanted a
Uh,
bunch of the guards.
I like the kind of Spartan. They look like
Hmm.
fucking, not fucking, look, kids. Before Halo, there was a group of warriors called Spartans. Just to let you know this.
Mhm.
Um, I'd love to get one of those kind of Spartan looking ones. But no, if it gun to my head, the Shinobi and then maybe the kind of berserker Nordic fucking predator, the Nordic fucking predator with
And
the
it
sonic
lights
mace.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. Um, what about you, Predpool?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of them. I'm not into the big Predator figures, so the one from the Shield, I wouldn't be going at like I didn't care about the video game version from NECA or the hybrid ones. Those one I don't like the big giant ones, but I mean in this movie he looks cool. But as far as action figures, definitely Shinobi. Also the pilot, I think he will be interesting. Because I don't think we actually got to see his full body. We only got to really see, if I remember correctly, just a top torso of him, really,
Yeah.
because he's mostly seated the whole time. But for some reason, I really like the guards. With the bone helmet, the two tusks in the bottom. So I would like to see them. As far as the warlord, I like the look, but as far as action figure, for me, he's too busy. He's got
You'd
too
have
much going on for me. He's just too
you'd have
busy.
to fuck
But I mean, I like again as an action figure. I think he's like, oh my god, I poked my finger again with all these sharp objects. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
they would
uh,
have to they would have to tone his design down so people can people can get poked in the eye with it.
yeah.
yeah, and then he has all those tails that most people are saying that are tails from
Xenomorphs.
Xenos, most probably. But yeah, I mean, if they can do all of them, that's fine. That way everybody can be happy. So.
Hmm.
Either way, NECA is going to get our fucking money, lads.
Yeah.
That's
I
Now,
mean,
fucking.
now I do want two humans characters for sure. They can make it, which they is Ursa and Kenji.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
if they make those two, that'd be great.
We're
Tor,
never going to fucking see human characters, though. Fucking. How many Dutches did we get? Fuck's sake. Um,
no, I
but yeah.
mean,
Oh,
but my final thoughts though, beyond the questions, is just like I thought it was great. I feel the consensus is like the gripes that everybody has are like really minor, and that's good. I mean, it's just and it's not all the same gripes, which is cool. It's I don't I really hope this doesn't get to a point where it's like it becomes Last Jedi. I hope
Yeah.
they do. I hope they keep doing it really well, and I hope they keep the fans and they do it
Momentum.
for the
Yeah.
fans.
Hmm.
Happy. Um, yeah, because that's the one thing that like even after with Marvel, even after um Endgame, I was just like, okay, like where do we like I'm done. Like
Hmm.
give us a
Where do we
break.
go? Where do we
Yeah,
go
or
from here?
exactly like where other than like Galactus, like that's I've always wanted to see Galactus, like you know, but I think they just started pushing stuff out and like, oh, let's see what sticks. I was like, no, like you're just take a break, maybe a year, 2 years, and build the
Do
next
you only
story.
Eh,
do you- go on, Redfoot?
no, go ahead. I have some. This.
No,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the only thing you would do would be you could adapt an AVP story called Three World War, where there's a bunch of predators who are like, "Fuck, it, we're taking over the galaxy," and they've domesticated xenomorphs, and then there's another bunch of predators who's like, oh, "For fuck's sake." Right? We'll fuck it. They join up with the colonial marines, and it's a fucking epic storyline. It's the last storyline to feature Michiko Nagachi. That's where I think you could go. That, or you would have Predators versus Engineers.
I'd be down
Uh,
for that.
Well, like in
I
was it Fire and Stone, right?
Yeah, Fire and Stone.
mhm.
Like that
If
would
you
be pretty
mind, I do have a question for you guys. If you don't mind me asking, Marty.
Go.
So let's say they do another Killers of Killers and it's part two, but it's not a continuation of these stories. These are now different time periods, different characters, whatever.
Oh, nice.
What time periods would you like to see next? I already got
Okay.
three.
Okay. I'm gonna pick my tree. Um, I would like to see a medieval one.
Yeah,
Um,
medieval.
okay. I would also like to see maybe a Wild West one.
cool. That'd
And
be
lastly, because you know what, fuck it, I'd love to see some dude from either 1916 or 1922 from the Irish Resistance who was like some sniper who used to fucking pick off Brits or fucking
Okay.
blow up bridges or some shit like that. Basically, no, I'd like to see fucking Sean Lamass or Michael Collins take on a predator. It's just like you dirty fucking bastard. Just I just see that some fucking IRB member just get chucked and cry. He's like, what the fuck is going on here? That would be for me. That's a great question, actually, Predpool. What do you,
Yeah, no,
Monty? What
yes.
about you?
Definitely one for prehistoric.
Hmm.
Uh, Definitely one in the Wild Wild West,
Hmm.
and I would like to see them one in the future. One in the future.
Yeah.
See how
So,
they do it
Colonial
technology
Marine.
wise. Not colonial marines. I would say, oh boy, oh no, not future. Um, I can't think what timeline. Timeline, but definitely Wild Wild West, and definitely in the prehistoric times.
Hey, Trench. What about you,
Oh,
Larry?
Trench.
caveman. That would be pretty cool.
Mm.
Fucking Fang from Primal, fucking taking on a predator.
Yeah.
Um,
For
that,
me,
I,
it would be pirates.
Mm.
I would love to see
Hmm.
that. Especially like something like if you think about it, like on a big pirate ship, and the predator's on the ship, and he's just picking people off. It'd be like basically like the first Predator film,
the,
Hmm.
the
where
the the the
he's just
comic.
so much there's so much stealth and everything, and just kind of like I think that would be really cool. Um, the other one would be, I mean, you said it, Mari, the medieval times. I think that would be
Yeah.
like super cool, like the battle armor and trying to like go on against a predator. And then the third would be friggin' give me Blade Runner Predators, man. Like in that time, like something way in the future where it's like dystopian, and it's just like
Mad
I want
Max.
to, yeah, like something well, more like Blade Runner, where it's like dark and just the world is you know, all turn
That
to
that
hell and
that would be
kind of like,
interesting to see a replicant go up against the fucking predator.
yeah.
Fucking Roy Batty going up against predator. Trenchy says ancient Greece.
And
Yeah, that'd be
that's
cool.
that.
That would be pretty good.
That's one of mine. Mine was like the Spartan, fight some of the Greek Spartans, like that type. The
Nice.
other one will be already mentioned, a Western. Now the third one, I was thinking Maoris, which are back in the day were cannibals. So if the predators encountered these people and say they took out, let's say they cut off an arm of a predator and they decide to eat a part of a predator, what will be the
Are you
result?
No, hold on a minute. Redpool, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, if you've read the Dark Horse comics, that basically there's part of the lore. If you consume a predator's flesh, blood, or their heart, particularly their heart, you get their lifespan. There's a dude. There was a samurai who
Exactly.
fucking lived for about, I think, maybe 800-900 years, because all he did was kill predators and eat their fucking heart, and that would have
Exactly.
been
Well, it's like
that would have
concrete
So
been
jungle
fucking,
also.
so if the
yeah.
predator encounters people and they take them out and they just start to consume it, and then their bloodline down the what then that could lead to you know but yeah, that would be the three kind of stories that I would like to see.
Hmm.
That'd kick ass. Come here, guys. I'm going to round it off here, but before I go, because I always like to let people fucking plug their fucking awesome wares. Monty, what is going on and what's coming up on the Horror Miser Monty G's channel?
Obviously, of course, I have my review of Predator Killer of Killers. What do I have up now? I also have a review of that movie I just saw. Bring Her Back. That review is up right now. If I get a chance to see Dangerous Animals, then I'll have a review of that as well.
Cool beans. And make sure I'm going to have people's links in the description after the thing. It's hard to fucking put up links in StreamYards. Larry, what about yourself? Any new figures, any hauls that you're reviewing or showcasing soon, or you want to bring attention to?
Yeah. I just got in I just got in one figure of uh, man. I don't know if I haven't released it yet, but there's going to be a short of a figure that I just got, and
Okay.
I just released another short of another figure. The set the shredder as Dracula. So I released a
Oh,
short
Nice.
of
cool.
that. As
Uh,
for haul videos, I'm going to be releasing my part two of Texas Frightmare, what I got from Texas Frightmare. So that should be coming out sometime probably this weekend, either Friday or Saturday. I just need to finish editing it up and stuff like that. But beyond that, yeah, just some more figures that came in and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love that Texas Frightmare video, and I love the fact you turned up in fucking 2 day rentals. And it's like
That was-
fucking Kato. It's like Kato turning up in fucking the 66 Batman. It's like, oh my god, it's Larry. Awesome.
well, yeah, I mean, that was a funny story too, because I was like outside and I was like filming like just a crowd, and I was like, I think that's 2 day rentals. And then when we got into because I only saw him real quick, and then we got into because I was in line to get in. I'll just make this quick. And then when we got in, I went to go, pick up something, and then I saw him again. I was like, 2 day rentals? And he's like, oh, hey, Horror Cat Dad. And I was like, oh, wow, you actually recognize me. That's cool. So, and from there, we just started talking, and then, we did, he filmed a little bit of our conversation and everything. So, yeah, it was really cool, man. It was really cool.
It's a real life cameo. As I was saying, Monty, it's like Larry turning up in 2 days rentals videos, like Kato turning up in Batman, the 60s Batman. Predpool, what about yourself? What figures or items are you reviewing in the future, or
um
are you
I've been
showcasing at the moment?
lately I've been kind of hiatus. I haven't gotten too much new or been inspired to to review. But I've been posting a lot of pictures on X. I pretty much do on a daily basis of my action figures, posing and so forth. On YouTube, I do a couple of shorts as far as animated figure. You know, I put my figures and I use AI for them to be animated and so forth. And I disclaim that it is AI used. You know, it's not something. So I know some people have their views on AI, but
Mhm.
it is me using my action figures posing, then using the app to make them animated. So that's all that is. But yeah, hopefully I'll get some new stuff coming in. I got a couple of Kickstarters that I'm waiting for them to eventually, some point, to send them out. Then once those start coming in, then I'll start doing more reviews. So just bear with me.
Cool, cool beans. And again, as I said before, I leave links to all these excellent chaps in the description below. Myself, I have a review obviously for Killers, Killer of Killers. I'm going to be on the awesome Lady Sasha's channel on Thursday. Herself and Tony Man are discussing this, and I'm going to pop in as a guest. I do know my gorgeous girlfriend has a live stream on Wednesday. Herself, Trenchy, and Nomad Joey are discussing Goodfellas, and myself and Jen are going to be doing the 90s live action Flintstones movie for Jurassic Tunes. So keep your eyes peeled for
Ooh.
that. And I love,
Nice.
I, I love what, what's so
Oh
funny?
no, the Flintstones, the first one. I'm pretty sure you talk about
Yeah,
the
no,
first one.
the first one with John Goodman. We're doing it as a
Okay,
trash fire. We're doing it as a
okay.
Jurassic Tunes
I'm
trash
glad.
fire.
I thought you talked about the other one that was ooh boy.
Oh no, 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 no! Look, we're not scraping the bottom of the barrel just fucking yet. But with that, I'm going to end it here. But before we go, I just want to thank everyone who was in the chat. My gorgeous girlfriend, Jen, the Soulless Trenchcoat. We had Tembo Cinema. We had Jerry Wilson. We had Tony Man. We had Lady Sasha. Eric was in the chat. Brian Kubrick Lover. Creepy McGee. And yeah, that was it. Also, big thanks to these fucking awesome, wonderful fuckers for joining me this evening. Make sure you check out their channels. As I said, I'm going to have the links in the description down below. And with that, good night. God bless. Take care. And yeah, have a good one. Take
Peace.
care.
Later. Thanks
Bye
for
now.
watching.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.